Hello and welcome to this episode of the Spiced In Podcast. My name is Jacob and I'm your host, and today we're just going to have a quick little mini episode. I know I missed last week, which I don't feel terribly bad about, so as I really haven't missed a week probably in, I would say, I don't know, maybe at least March, if I had to guess, if not much earlier. So, I'm a one-man show, and sometimes I have to take a minute, so probably should have announced it on Twitter or something like that, but it is what it is. I am back, and before we jump into our actual episode, which again is gonna be pretty short, just kind of covering some news stuff to make sure I'm up to date on that. Just a personal update for me. I am currently I'm currently preparing for the LSAT, which is the law school admissions test, which is a lot of fun and usually, you put in a lot of time for that, so I am spending less time on Star Wars stuff for the time being. I may be switching more to a bi-weekly format going forward for at least the time being. It's kind of hard to predict these things because I just never know when I'm going to have time to get through whatever piece of content I want to talk about and actually sit down and record the show and edit it, and if the dog's going to cooperate and all that stuff. So it's a little up in the air right now. I have one episode I'm really excited for that's planned for I think the third week of August, so I don't want to wait that long. Hopefully have at least one episode between now and then, so probably either one next week or the following week, and then one. Okay, I think the cool episode I have planned is the 17th, yeah, so expect one hopefully episode between now and then. So we got that going on. And, we're, hopefully, it's gonna be a little tough going forward, but hopefully you can, give me a little slack there. There is still the spicedin.com, which I haven't posted an article on a little bit, but I have tried to keep up with a little bit of the news between being able to record these shows. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, but my plan for my testing stuff is I will be taking the test in October. At least in October. Hopefully I don't have to take it again, but we'll see about that. The test is October 3rd, which Squadrons comes out, and that's a Saturday. Squadrons comes out on the Friday, October 2nd. So when I'm done with that test, I'm probably going to get home, crash, and maybe I'll stream some Squadrons or something like that. So I look forward to that. We're going to have, that's going to be fun. I'll be in my new place by then, so have a lot of room for the VR setup and everything. But yeah, just because of that, books are going to be a lot harder for me to finish right now. I know I was supposed to talk about Queen's Peril like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. I still haven't even touched that book. I think I might try and do the Dr. Aphra audio drama sometime soon. It'll just be a little bit easy for me to digest it, so I don't have to sit down and commit to reading something. I can just have it on in the background and still hopefully try and get a lot out of it. I'm going to try and do that. Maybe that's in 2 weeks. We'll see how quickly I can get through that. But that's kind of all the update stuff. As far as we're going to just kind of talk about some Star Wars news that's happened in the past 2 weeks. There's been quite a bit of stuff. Probably the biggest news is the Bad Batch series was announced. It's a new animated series starting in 2021 following the Bad Batch in a post-Order 66 world. I'm really excited for this. We get to see a lot more of those characters who I think they were very much tropey characters in the beginning, but I think when they're more fleshed out, it can make for a pretty cool show. I have a full write-up on that on thespicedin.com, so you can check that out if you're interested. But I think that's going to be pretty cool, and it's kind of our first taste of what we're going to get in a post-Clone Wars world, both, timeline-wise and as far as, content and shows go. Next we have the Dr. Aphra audio drama, which was released. I know I talked about that briefly, but it was written by Sarah Kuhn, I believe, and it is a kind of a retelling with some more information of her origin story, which was in the Darth Vader 2015 release. I've read the first 2 trade paperbacks of that comic book, so I've gotten a lot of her origin, but it'll just be kind of an expansion of that. I'm looking forward to that. I really like Dooku Jedi Lost, so I'm glad that they're doing more audio drama. Another thing we had happen was we had a little release of some Galaxy's Edge merch at Target. So there was a Astromech Funko Pop. There was the Resistance landing shuttle and with V Marati Lego set. There was a Black Series DJ Rex or whatever, and a few other things like that. nothing super major, nothing that I was like really needed to go, feel like I need to go get. The Resistance Shuttle is cool, but it's like $100 set, and I had I did the Resistance Y-Wing build on my YouTube channel recently. I thought that was a cool, fun build. I think honestly the set quality is better, and that was only $80, so I'm probably not going to be getting the Resistance Shuttle, but I might be getting the Mandalorian Razor Crest ship when that comes out in like a month. That happened. We had new gameplay of Star Wars Squadrons from the EA Game Changers, which is like they're kind of like the Game Changers program is something that most, if not all, EA games have, where it's just like high-level community members who get to have a little bit extra access to the game in return for feedback to the developers. So they played the game last week, and we got to see a lot more gameplay. It looks great. One thing I thought was interesting is it was confirmed that you're not locked into a team comp. Like, I know we were shown for like New Republic, for instance, there was 2 X-Wings, an A-Wing, a Y-Wing, and a U-Wing. But that doesn't seem like that's a hard rule. You could have 4 X-Wings and a U-Wing if you wanted to. But obviously having a strong team comp will definitely help you in the battle. And another interesting thing that I saw was that it seems like in the fleet battles, it seems incredibly difficult to just like go straight at a capital ship. Like you're gonna get just blasted. So it's important, it's not just like all the old school Battlefront games. There's, Starfighter mode where you can, fly up right into the capital ship, docking bay, or you can just do strafing runs along the ship the whole time and nothing's really going to bother you. In the Squadrons, it seems very much that the turbo lasers will definitely take you out if you stick around too long, so you have to do a lot better at coordinating your attack runs, which makes sense, especially for such a tactical based game. But it looks really fun. Can't wait to get my hands on it on October 3rd. Game comes out October 2nd, so I will be playing it the 3rd once I'm done with my test, hopefully. But that was exciting to see. It's our first really look at some serious gameplay footage. So if you want to see more of that, you can check out on YouTube either like Star Wars Explained or Eckert's Ladder, or I know Cubs fan Han was on there, which if you're a Galaxy Heroes person, that's kind of surprising to hear, but so I check out any of those people for more gameplay analysis. We also got some more art from the High Republic. They announced or revealed a new character, Sisker, who's a Trandoshan Jedi Master. So that's kind of cool. Kind of a new design, a new species we're not used to seeing in a Jedi, a Jedi role. And the last thing we're really going to talk about is the San Diego Comic-Con. So obviously that would have been happening this week, but that did not end up happening because of the coronavirus. So they had a little something for everyone. They did allow you to buy some of the Comic-Con exclusive merch online this year. And I kind of looked through it. Nothing really stuck out at me. Like some of the mini busts were cool, but I'm not sure if I want to spend $120 or more on something that I just think is kind of mildly cool. So I'm kind of going to skip all those for the most part. They also had some Comic-Con at Home online panels. So we had one based on the Mandalorian and his gadgets, one based on around Dr. Aphra, and the big one was the Star Wars Publishing panel. So we're going to kind of quickly run down the things they talked about there. They showed the lightsaber collection, which is something we'd known was coming for a little bit. It's just like a reference art book with a bunch of different lightsabers throughout the saga. And we just kind of got a cover reveal. Looks like it shows like Mace Windu, I think Return of the Jedi Luke, Vader, and I think Leia. Looks like that's a Leia saber, on the cover. So that's cool. I think that's probably going to be a really cool way to get your best look at some of these lightsabers, especially, if they have Rey's new saber from the very end of the movie. That'd be neat. Although I think it was at least partially in the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. So that wasn't shown. They talked a little about the Shadow of Vader's Castle, which is a Star Wars Adventures, one of the IDW series. It's going to be an extra long book. I think 30-page one shot. So they announced that it's kind of a horror type book. Probably won't be picking that up, but it looks interesting. Star Wars Adventures. They had some more announcements on the next era of that series. Again, IDW children's comics, but that's gonna be relaunched. We're getting stories in the sequel, the original trilogy era. Just looking at the covers that were released. They also are releasing another version of Myths and Fables. So the first one kind of was, it was written by George Mann, and they actually had a follow-up that came out, or is coming out pretty around now. It is, which is, I think, Dark Shadows or something like that, which are some little short stories that take place in universe, kind of like mythology. So the next one, it's going to be kind of a follow-up that's going to be in universe. So it's like a book that like exist in the canon, in the galaxy, that is based around Batuu. So I think that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I'll pick that up or not. And then we had the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge art book shown off a little bit. That is put together by Amy Ratcliffe, who's done a lot of this kind of stuff. She's helped out with a lot of the reference books. I believe she's also on the new like Jedi Mindfulness book as well. Justina Ireland talked about her junior novel for the High Republic, A Test of Courage, and she said it's going to tie in with Sana Starros, who is Miss Han Solo in the Star Wars comic book series. So. Then something I thought was really cool and looks pretty cute is they released they're putting together a kid's book, like a book you'd read to a toddler, and it's A Jedi You Will Be, by Preeti Shubir. Probably got that wrong, and illustrated by Mike Diaz. It has a really cute cover of like a toddler book art style of Luke on Endor with Yoda and R2. And I might pick that one up and stow it away for a couple of years. We're also getting more Darth Vader comics, naturally. The writer for this one is Greg Pak, and he alluded to the fact that the next arc is going to be pretty interesting and tie into elements from the most recent Skywalker Saga films, aka The Rise of Skywalker. So we'll see a little bit, what that might entail, although I probably won't get to that for quite a while. For the Empire Strikes Back from a Certain Point of View, we found out that Tom Engelberger is going to again write a story about the Wills, kind of the Guardians of the Force. We'll see, he apparently wrote something similar in the original New Hope from a Certain Point of View, so kind of be cool to see his continuation of that. They talked about the Stories of Light and Dark Clone Wars book, anthology book. They talked to Rebecca Roanhorse, who wrote Resistance Reborn. She's writing a Maul story in the book. I believe it's called Brothers, and it is, she talked about how she had to get into the mind of Maul, who is just obsessed with revenge. They also talked, of course, about Poe Dameron Freefall, which is coming out within like 2 weeks. I feel like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of books and everything hitting real soon, which is nice that they spaced out a little bit and delayed some of it, because I don't know, I already know I'm not going to be able to keep up. But yeah, Alex Segura, the author, talked a little about his story and really the kind of the evolution of the Poe character to where we see him now. We also had Dr. Aphra comic book, shown off a little bit. And then lastly, but probably most importantly, Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising is, it's coming soon. We had the excerpt a couple weeks ago, and Zahn was talking about writing this novel and really exploring what it means to be a part of the Chiss culture and the intricacies of that. I love the excerpt. It really felt like true sci-fi, not so much like Star Wars sci-fi. Like you had ruling families and class struggle and struggle of like large powers. Yeah, it kind of had like a Dune vibes to it a little as well. And I'm really excited to see what that has to offer. And it was a long panel. I know I barely gave any details. There's so much stuff to talk about. If you wanna check out the panels yourself, they are still on YouTube. You can go back and watch those. And then one last bit of news I almost forgot about. The Tales from Batuu video game. It's a VR experience by ILMX Lab. It was announced a little bit ago, and it's still supposed to come out this year. And, when it does come out, I will hopefully stream it or play it or whatever. But we were told that we are going to get more details of that this week. So check that out. It's going to be our first real look at the game. Looks like that is the 28th. So if you're listening to this on Monday, it will be tomorrow. So yeah, see what ILM X Lab has in store for us. Hopefully it's really cool. I think VR like game design has come a long way since they made Vader immortal. So I'm interested to see what they will do there, and hopefully we get some cool stories on this, inexplicably important planet in Star Wars. Like I feel like it's the new Tatooine, where it's even worse than Tatooine. Tatooine is like backwater, and then Batuu is like the backwater of backwater planets. Like it's like almost impossible to get to. It's way out the edge of the galaxy, and yet we have so many stories focused around there. But, it's a cool, interesting place, I guess, and I won't be going to Disney anytime soon based on coronavirus, but I can live vicariously through this game and through the books. So, I think that's all we got for this week. Again, that's a short, quick one, and, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to follow up with me, you can check me out at SpicedInPod on Twitter and Instagram, at thespicedin.com. On Patreon, YouTube, just about anywhere you could think of. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks as always to Graham Bull for our music, and may the force be with you.